do we know the quantity of feed to give them?
Exactly. So we want to use this opportunity. Already we are going to train the farmers here. We're in a remote area. So we want to use this opportunity to take the video to also serve as a benefit to you as well. So we are going to cover a number of things within this training. So please stay watching. We just brought this juveniles from Kumasi, so we are going to stock them. So the best thing to do when you're going to stock new juveniles is to acclimatize them. That's what most beginners mistake that they are making. Acclimatization, let it acclimatize. Let the water in the pond and the water in the container neutralize. So when that happens, then you are rest assured that everything is all right. So this is how we call acclimatization. So what most beginners mistake they are making is that they come and just pour them into the pond. This is the wrong way of stocking them. What you do is that put the container in the water, let it float. So the water in the container and the water in the pond, it will come to the same temperature level. Then the water will enter the tank and then them themselves will move into the pond smoothly. That's what we call acclimatization. So about 10 to 20 minutes, you can now gently lower it and pour all of them into the pond. That way they will not receive shocks. But the moment you come and pour them into it, you shock them and you kill them. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. If you're watching me for the first time, all we do in the channel is to share fish farms is based on our experience and research. We also have fish farmers set up their farms and aquaculture system. And that's exactly what we are doing here. So we want to use this opportunity. Already we are going to train the farmers here. We're in a remote area. So we want to use this opportunity to take the video to also serve as a benefit to you as well. So we are going to cover a number of things within this training. So please stay watching and subscribe to the channel. As we have done first, we have looked at how to acclimatize them. We are still on it. So once we are done, we are going to also look at how to feed them. We shall also look at how to make the point in general, how to change water, a lot of things that we are going to discuss. So stay watching. I talk about the dead one. Now that you have seen it. Check. When we come, I told you that no matter what, somewhere are going to die. That's number. Even we are even still going to get more. So usually, when they, because of that travel stress and that mortality, they are full of some have been cannibalized, like this one. Some is normal death. So because of that, 50 pieces always added to the thousand because of these shocks and mortality. So we expect that and we know it's going to happen. It's still floating. When it mixes, you cannot pour it in. This is our RAS system. This is our RAS system that we connected. Now the RAS is working. So the flotation is working. Oh. So this is how the aeration is supposed to work. First it was working, but it wasn't adding oxygen. But now you could hear the sound of the air cooling and the bubbles entering. This is the best way it's working. If I put it this way, the pump is working, but it's not adding oxygen. If I release it, it's adding oxygen. So always check that to ensure it's working. And if it's not working, just adjust it from here. Just adjust it from here. And then everything's fine. You see that they are enjoying it. So, Fatima, as we are stocking them, we are not going to feed them now until in the evening. For now, it has been acclimatized. So let's say you can now easily, hey, those that are mini, yeah. So you can try and take them out and count them. If there are more, you have to replace them. And one of the things is that fish, yes, yeah, that one is number. they are stressed. They are stressed up. So that's why it is not good to give them food. That's why it's not good to give them food when you stock them like this. They are stressed up, so they don't eat. You find them to be weak. So you mostly go under and rest. So by evening time they become active. Now when you don't give them food at that time, they'll eat. Um you can use the net and remove the dead ones. Then we count down to see how many. So it is a mistake to feed them immediately after you stock them because their food when they actually don't eat it, it poisons the water.
Okay.
Or you can
So, Master, how do you know that the fish they are dead or they will turn upside down
yes.
or
So now to know that fish is dead, first and foremost, when fish dies, it first goes under the pond. As we have just stopped them, you see those dead juveniles. You see that they have gone under. Now, when they soak water and become soft, they will not come up. So if you pick them, even if you don't pick all, those that are remaining, by evening or by tomorrow morning, you will not see them on the surface of the pond. They will not turn upside down like this and they're up. But first, when they die, they go under. And this is a clear example. But after some time, they will come up and then they will just be lying upside down like this with the stomach swelling and mean that they are dead. What is most crucial, and you people should take notes in the farm, is feed. Feeding is very, very important. You people have to take care of, be conscious about that. Because if you are overfeeding the fish, you will kill them. And if you underfeed them, they will not grow well. So ideally, when you are feeding, there's a method we call responsive feeding method. The feed and the feeding is very important. If you are going to feed them, do the responsive feeding method. What it means is that you will fetch the feed small at a time, throw it into the pond, observe how they eat it. You will see that they will finish it fast. Then you give them. When you notice that they have slowed down, then they are satisfied. Leave them. Don't come and just throw more feed on the pond and go. Yes. So even in situation where you give them the feed, in about 5 to 10 minutes, you notice that they are no more eating, but the feed is still on the pond. Take it out. Just use something and collect it from the pond. Because later you will not see it. And what happens is that it has decayed. It has dissolved in the water. And when the feed dissolves in the water, high quantity, it increases ammonia. And when the ammonia is high, it burns the gills of the fish. And it also reduces the oxygen. So you find the fish to die. So overfeeding is always very dangerous. So using the responsive feeding method is the best way of feeding your fish. The feed are made of different sizes as we bought them 2 mm, 3 mm, 4 in that order. Each size is different from the other. So now, as juvenile like this, they are taking the 2 mm. When the 2 mm is finishing, or you want to change to new feed, let's say 3 mm, the best thing to do is to still get small feed of the 2 mm and get the 3 mm and mix it together and feed them maybe for 1, 2, 3 days. Let's say 1, 2 days, that's fine. Before you now move completely to the next or the 3 mm. Because the issue is that as they are growing and they are not the same, despite some have grown beyond 2 mm, there are some that cannot still take 3 mm smoothly. So when mixing for them, they can all get the type of feed that they can eat. While apart from that too, when you introduce them to the new feed, it is bigger. So it is new to them. When they come and pick it, it's bigger than their usual feed. They'll still conscious, they'll still throw it out. For instance, I just set one farm for one man and wife. So the man was not around. Then he called me. Oh, that the wife said the fish are not eating. He should give them food out. and you just say to you, they didn't eat. I rush to the place just to realize that they have changed the size of the fish feet. And because they didn't mix it with the previous one, they were having difficulties taking. And I told them that, oh, this one is normal. So the next meal, they were able to take it completely and they were fine. So you can always mix it that way. Now, some feed their fish 2 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. But personally, what I recommend is 2 times, morning and evening. The issue is that, per my experience, when you give them morning, they eat more. If you give them afternoon, they don't eat. They just eat small and leave it there. Even today, eat small. But when you leave the afternoon and there's some gap break, then when you feed them in the morning, they eat so much. Afternoon to they eat, and that's all. But it all depends on the stage of the fish. At the hatching center, at the fry stage, for that stage, look, no matter, you can't leave them that long because they just small stomach and they eat more. So that stage sometimes we even give them every 2 3 hours. We give them food. But that time is for the experienced hatching center. So that's how they will manage it before we bring it here. But once they are here as juveniles, you can now try as much as possible to give them twice a day and they'll be fine. So they want to ask, you wanted to ask questions?
Yeah, I have a question to ask.
Okay.
How do we know the quantity of feed to give them?
Exactly. So that's what I started and I said personally I recommend using the responsive feeding method. The responsive feeding method, it doesn't have specific quantity you should give them. Let's say someone will say that give 500 grams to 1000 kg of fish. All is stress. Responsive feeding method. Get a small cup,
A small cup,
a
as
small
small
cup,
as.
a small cup. Not if I say small cup, it's not when you even fed a small, you don't even have to throw all. Just take a small cup. After you fed it, just fed small. Give it to them, just throw small. You find them rush for it. It means they have high appetite. So you will be giving. I'm observing as they're eating. And to get to a time, you also realize that the way they were eating, they have slowed down. It means that they are okay. You leave them. So the one on the surface, they'll finish it and that's all. That's the responsive feeding method. Now, if you want to be taking records of your feed, that's why I now say you should have a cup. So if you have the cup doesn't have specific size, you will know the quantity of the cup that you have, and you should know the measurement of the cup. You should do that. Then in the morning, if they take 3 cups, you write 3 cups down. But meanwhile, you know that the 3 cup contains 500 grams or 1 kg of feed. You know that. So later, when you now want to calculate, you now know that, oh, they have consumed this number of cups or this number of bags, and a cup is equivalent to this quantity, or a bag is equivalent to this quantity, and you can now tell. For instance, the feed that we bought is 20 kg. So when one bag of feed finish, you know that for now, so far they have consumed 20 kg of feed. If you have any question regarding the feeding, before we move to another angle. So if you have question regarding the feed or the feeding, we'll talk about that.
The dead ones, how are we going to remove them?
They will come up on the surface. Or you can get something and pick them up. So now, any question about the feed or the feeding? So now, as we are done with the feeding, another important thing in the fish farm, which is very, very also crucial, is water management. Uh, when it comes to fish, water is life. They live in the water. They breathe in the water. They eat in the water. They defecate. I mean, they go to toilet in the water. To put in the layman understand. For the hatching, that's another aspect of that, especially the catfish here. They don't hatch in the pond like this. You have other aspects who hatch them. But now, if you don't keep good water, one, they will not be growing boy. Two, there will be diseases. And lastly, they can all die. In fact, poor water can lead to mortality of all the fish within 1 or 2 hours. Yes, if the water is not good. So it is always good to have good water. And thank God, the system that we have installed, it helps purify the water and it adds oxygen. It makes you to run the farm longer than the normal pond without changing the water. But if you are keeping this very working well, you will not be changing the water. But I don't say you don't change the water completely. What you will be doing is that you will be observing the fish, their behavior, and the color of the water, and the scent of the water. That's what you should determine. First and foremost, as you have seen the water colorless like this, you can see through. Within 2 3 days time, the color is going to change. It will be green. You can almost see them like that. That is normal. The color will be green. If this system is working, the farm will not be smelling. The fish will be eating very well. You don't have any issue. Just be keeping the system clean and be giving them feed. Now, when the water begins to smell badly, you need to begin to think that something is wrong. The water needs to change. Or the water change from green to either red or brown, depicting the feed color. And that is caused when you overfeed the fish. And when that happens, it means that the ammonia level has rise up, and that ammonia can kill them. That's what I say. So most of the times, when it even turns that way, the farm begins to smell. It is good to change the water at that time. Even if the system is working, it's good to change the water. But oh, the water is good, it's all smelling, the fish are eating, no problem. Another sign to know when to change the water is that when their appetite reduces. Catfish, when you give them feed, for instance, when they're hungry in the morning and in the evening, you can't throw the feed, they will ration, eating it. That's their normal behavior. But when you now come and give them the feed, you don't see that rush, you don't see that appetite. You don't eat. First, don't assume maybe the water is bad. Assume maybe something, maybe they are not hungry or something like that. But when you give them later again, and it's repeats for 2 3 times, my brother, my sister, change the water. Or if you can check out to see whether everything is alright, check it out. That means something is wrong. But I always recommend you change the water. We'll still talk about how to change water. I'm still telling you the things you should look up to change the water. And many people are asking, oh, how many days should I change the water? No, there's no specific number of days to change water. Even if without this system, there's no specific number of days. There are factors influencing that. First and foremost, how you feed them counts. Their size, like this, they don't eat much. They don't take much feedings out. Because of that, their water takes a little longer. But when they grow, they'll be eating more. They'll be taking more waste, that more pieces. And because of that, the water density will also be coming fast. And what is killing them most about the water is the oxygen level. And I told you that if ammonia high, oxygen drops. And the breath, when they how they breathe is that when the water passes through their mouth, through their gills, the gills absorb the oxygen. So now if there's no oxygen, they can't breathe. And to know that, you will find them put their nose out. If you do, no problem. If you see many of them put their nose and they are just hanging and not even active, they just hang like this. Or you find one to start here and be running with the nose out. It means it's trying to grab oxygen outside. It means oxygen is not in the water. And at that time, look, no medication can save you. If you have aeration system, increase aeration. But the best thing to do is change the water partially. And that's why I recommended that you should have emergency tank store water. That's why I recommended that. Because there at that time, for instance, when that happens, and I know the pipe is up flow all the time. You come and you realize that they are suffocating, and the pipe is not flowing, and you don't have emergency water store. What do? You will just be helplessly see your fish die.
Daddy,
Yeah.
look at this one. Is it something
No, this one for now, You see, it's not looking for air. It's, I told you they are transported.
Just relaxing.
It's relaxing. Sometimes normal, and sometimes they're stressed and it's normal. So this, what it's in the water, but it's hanging. But that time they will put the head, the head and the nose will not be in the water again. It will be out. They now want to get air from outside. Yes. Yeah, and that time, not even when they are tired. When he's asking when you naturally sometimes when water body dries up, then there's fish. We want to catch them. Yes, they are saying that when they are catching them, they are tired. They now put their nose out. It's not them when they are tired. The issue is that when the water becomes dirty with the mud, they can't breathe again. The oxygen everything has turned mud, so they can't breathe. So in order to breathe, they'll put the nose out. Now you see it and you catch last. So it's not that they are tired. It just came out to get oxygen. It can no more stay in the water. It's almost healthy for them. That's the same thing applies here. When you find many of them like that, it means that the water is not much safe for them. And the best to do is to change the water. Now let's now come back to how do you change the water? I've answered the question how many days. It doesn't matter. Look at the features that I've mentioned. So if you observe that features, the fish are suffocating, the water is smelling, the color has changed, you can change the water. Now, and I told you that for it also determines how you feed them, also determine the water. If you are also giving them more, it can affect them. Now, when that is done, how do you change the water? To change the water, we usually do what we call partial water change. And the partial change, what it means is that you don't drain the water out completely. You drain it out to the bottom level and you top up. The reasons are many. One, when you are changing the water, you are changing the condition of the fish. That's their condition, that's their home. So the water that they were in before, and you are bringing new water. So if you change their environment once, it shocks them and can cause mortality. But if you drain the water and still leave small, and you are putting the water grab, so when the new water is coming, it's refreshing the old water, and they will also be adapting to a new environment. It will be going that way. By the time you are done changing, they have adapted automatically to that new environment. That situation where we just change the water once, you just remove everything and put new water, it can shock them. That's one. Two, the water that you are bringing in. For instance, we don't usually recommend using tap water directly because of the chlorine. But if you don't have option and that is the only water source that you are going to use, now if you're not changing it gradually, the chlorine is being neutralized by the already water in the pond. So the harmfulness or the effectiveness will be low. So there will not be much effect on that. That's another way to do the water change. Second, another reason is that when the water you are bringing in, sometimes it can be hard. For instance, direct boiling water, sometimes it's also hard. It neutralizes, and that's fine. And now, how do you change the water? So let's come and see how we do it. In the traditional pond system, there's no filtration system. So this currently, we call this outlet. This is where you discharge the water, the dirty water, and put new water. So now, here, normally this is how it is. It is locked like that. Water is not coming. So if you want to now let the water go out, you come and open it. And this, you can control how it flows because this part is big. If you don't want to go far, this is how you open it. But because of the filtration system, this is going to always be on. So the water always comes here for filtration. And now this is where you will be doing the changing. So now this is always also locked. Maybe the water level, maybe something else. So now, if you want to now check it, no, the other pump is working. It has passed. Did you hear the sound, the shaking here? Okay, so it will come. Okay, so you go this way, so I can show you the camera. Now, this, you see how the water is. So now, if you now want to change, as you now want to take this water, both will now open at the same time, the water to go. If you can remove the filter so that it will go completely, then you lock here again. And that's how you change the water. So when it drains to the down level, like I told you, you now want to stop it and now top up the water.
And if you open it like this, the fish will not come out.
Because of that, we are going to we are going to cover the here. We're going to cover that. Yes. I want some knife. We are going to cover that so that I don't. Okay. We used to do something we call discharge pipe, but I noticed that sometimes the discharge pipe. So I noticed that the discharge pipe sometimes the waste doesn't come to the pond as best as possible. So I'm deciding to make something like this, which actually so we'll tight it in. So only the waste and the water can pass through. The fish cannot. So I'll just tight it inside. We'll tight it inside so it will prevent the fish from passing through. Okay. So sometimes when you come open here and you find fish there, it means that the thing has moved, so you can fix it back. So we have looked at how to change water. When do you change water? It's also very important. We don't change water unless it is emergency time. When the sun is hot, the temperature is hot. It's good to change the water in the morning or in the evening. The same thing applies to their feeding too. It's so good to feed them when the sun is very hot or when during Hamatan season when the weather is too cold in the morning. It's so good. So now, if all things be equal, there are living things like human. They also fall sick. How then do you treat them? Or how do you know that they are sick? Now it boils down to the similar characteristics that I mentioned. If you find them not active, if you find them not eating, if you find them putting their nose out, or you can find scratches in their skin or their head cracks, all these are signs of disease. To treat them, first there are medications. There are antibiotics. I about want to bring it here, but those antibiotics are total optional. But my best recommendation for treating the fish is bitter leaves. Bitter leaves. Do you know bitter leaves? The one they call shuaka. So please plant it here. And it's easy to plant. Just cut the stem and put it. Plant as many possible here. So later I'll share some videos with you how to apply it. So when you are going to apply the bitter leaves, it is good if you can reduce the water level. Grind the bitter leaves, put it in water, and remove the fiber, keep the fiber out, and throw the solution in the pond across around the water. Let them swim in the water for maybe 2-3 hours. Then you top up the water. And this is very good. So this one, even if they're not sick, once in a while, do that to them. It is natural. It doesn't have overdose. And some people even give it to them to chew. Especially when they are big. Just cut the leaves and they chew it. And it's better for them. And it also adds good water quality to the fish. So basically, that's how it is. Now, you can leave the bitter leaf. Instances, we can also use salt. For instance, I told you that sometimes their skin will have some wounds or some rashes. That time you can use bitter leaf fine. You can also use salt. You know, salt sometimes it bends the skin and it heals wounds when it bends the hair. And to apply the salt, two methods. You can just throw this in around the water. But that is not effective because when you throw it, it will settle on the pot and it will take longer time to dissolve. But the best is dissolve it in the water. Like we did. After you dissolve it, you spare it around. But that one, if you overdose it, it can kill them. So don't give them too much. So that's another way you can treat the fish. Diseases How you can manage it. And there's another thing we call cannibalism. Cannibalism means they are eating each other, especially catfish. Those that are dead, if you observe them, some have some part flesh not there. It means that others have eaten them. So there are times you come and find dead fish and you remove it. So that's why when you find a dead fish, don't just come and remove and throw it away. Observe it to see what possible have caused. Yes. You might see some uh, part not there. It means other fish have eaten it. You can see scratches. All these are indication or telling you that there's something you have to look up to. So the cannibalism mostly is high one when they don't grow in the same, and that's how they are. Sometimes they grow different stages, different ways. So because they grow in different sizes, the bigger ones always dominate the smaller ones and use them for food. But there are instances where a fish will just take another fish and swallow completely. Yes, and just swallow it. That's why it is always important or good to do sorting, to be separating them. And it is good if you want to do that separate, it means the number of ponds should be more than one. So you can be separating them. But notwithstanding, you can still go by that. Now, another thing that causes cannibalism is that when they become hungry for longer period, they have not eaten and they are hungry, they tend to eat each other. Those that are weak, they eat them. Or those and catfish, because they are cannibalistic in nature, they like blood. So among them, if one fish is bleeding, they'll eat it. Unless it is strong, they'll be biting where the blood is coming from. They'll be biting it. I'll be eating it small small. By the time I realize they'll kill it and eat. And because of that, some people also are telling you that, oh, because they eat like that, when one of them died, leave it for others to eat. It is bad practice because that decay fish, if they don't eat it, or it can also contaminate your water. Or also, you are telling them to be eating each other. That's what you're saying. So it's bad practice. Now, uh, another thing that can also contaminate your water is that avoid putting hands or objects in the water. I know this is public place. Many people coming in. If someone comes, let the person just stand and watch. Don't don't be letting people put in their hands. They can bring virus. They they can contaminate the water without you people knowing. And also, if you're going to put some object in the water, including this net, it's lying somewhere, and then you don't want to put it in water. First and foremost, disinfect it. And to disinfect it, prepare salt solution and put that container and put it. Even you yourself, when you want to put your hand, or you yourself, you want to go inside the water, use salt solution to clean your legs because you can contaminate the water. So these are pond management tips that you should know, and that will help.
So what do
Uh,
I
if there's any questions, now take questions. So these are dead fish that as a result of the transportation. So we are going to remove them and count them. So always expect that when you are transporting your fingerlings, not even fingerlings, not even juvenile, even grown fish, they will be stressed up and some will die on the way. But there's another thing I must let you know. When you stock new fish like this, there's what we call new tank syndrome. And that new tank syndrome, there are rare occasions. There are times that you can face serious mortalities of the newly stocked fish. Always bury dead ones because if you leave them floating or just on the surface like this, they'll be smelling, and people around will be complaining. So anytime you remove, don't always so count them so we know how many we have lost. I'll report it to the supplier. Yeah, I was saying the new tank syndrome, you are likely to face some level of mortality, yes, in the pond. So I won't stop them like this. And that can cause by stress, infection, or the new environment. and high ammonia buildup, and that's what we call the new tank syndrome. So if we don't face any mortality within this, that's all. If anything happens, it will be as a result of you, the managers, how you are managing it. So take proper care, and if there's any issue, just call me, then we can help you. And then you can follow my channel on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I post videos like this education snap once. Yes, that can always help to be successful. Yes, Paco aquaponics. Yes, aquaponics. Yes. Even in future, you might even consider putting aquaponics to this side.
What?
As a future, then future add aquaponics.
Aquaponics.
Yes. So you grow crop as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aquaponics.
I don't know aquaponics. Huh?
Yeah.
But he's following me on social.
Me, I've heard of that. That's what we are planning on doing. We are still looking for women that will grow vegetables around.
Yeah, yeah. And this one,
This is breast
yes.
standing. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So it's aquaponics.
No, this one, yeah, it's not aquaponics.
Them like this. Are they going to be hatching inside the water, or
No,
anytime you catch, you buy new ones
no.
to stock?
Anytime you catch, you buy new one to stock. If it were tilapia and they are not the reverse type, they will be hatching here. Tilapia, they will let the eggs it will hatch. But catfish, the reason they're not hatching here is that because they are cannibalistic. When the female ones get eggs, they will lay it, but they'll eat it. The others will eat. It will be there, they'll eat it. Because they already eat it themselves. And there's a saying that when crocodile eats its own flesh, what want to do the eggs of the lizard? It's the same thing. So if they lay the eggs, they will not really leave it for it to hatch. They will eat everything. So we also have people. Right now, we are planning to start our own hatching center now. We went to Kumasi with my brother, the chief of Cameroon, to learn the fish farming. I went with him to Accra. I will learn how to hatch catfish. We pay a huge sum of money. I don't mention that amount just to learn. We are trying to set up our hatching center. So you hatch again. When you harvest, you buy. Unless you're also having a hatching center.
So as for now,
So
if you want the fingerlings, unless you request it
you
from,
request.
so we don't have fingerlings in Tamil.
Sometimes we do. We do have, but most of those having, they also bring it, put it in their stock and resell. Yes. So we are here to also set up a hatching center.
It's good that you set your own.
Yeah, we are going to set up, and possible that can even reduce the cost of. Like this one, we don't want to Kumasi. We bought them from Kumasi. When this morning pick them, when we coming, our bag even spoiled. That's why we do. We have to give the bag to fitters. They have to work on it.
So when everything goes on normal, how long will it take these fingerlings to?
6 months, averaging.
Average
It could be less, it could be more, depending on how you are taking care of the fish. But averaging 6 months. Yes. If you have further question, ask. Ask questions. Ask questions.
We met you on Master. We met you on the way. So my brother is asking how many times are we going to feed them daily?
You feed them 2 times.
2 times.
Like some say 3, but mostly I prefer 2 times. Morning, not too early, maybe 8, 9. The temperature is a bit up, and then evening maybe 5 or 6. When you come back from farm, you can feed them. Now, and I said it earlier, you do the responsive feeding method. Throw the fish small at a time. Observe how they eat it, then you add them more. Don't just dump the feed. If you dump it and they don't eat it, and it decay and dissolve in the water, you see how it play because of this movement they're doing. And it decays and decomposes in the water, it's going to increase the ammonia, and oxygen will reduce and to kill them. So always use the responsive feed method, morning, evening, and that's all. You are farmers, before you go to the farm and you want to eat, don't rush. When you give them the feed, take time and observe, make sure they finish it or they finish eating. If 10 minutes there is still there, take it out and go. Ideally, you begin to see problems after feeding or during feeding. We observe them during feeding or after feeding. So when you give them feed, the way they are eating, observe that. I told you earlier, if they are not active, the next time feed that they are not active, begin to suspect there's something wrong. Try to see what you can do. If you have bitter leaves, apply. If worse, change the water. I told you earlier. But now, if you just come and throw the feed and go, whether they are okay or not, they have eaten or not, you don't know. And by the time you realize and come back, they are all dead in the water. And I told you, always have security here. You have security, not necessarily a watchman here beating people away. No. But when people are coming here, make sure they don't put their hands or things in the water to contaminate it. There are some farms I know. Even when you go there, you can't even touch the pond like this. Just sit and watch. Because even this way you can even contaminate it. Because there are invisible virus or germs that we don't see. Now, I said another security is that the feeding. I'll share an example with you. The place I learned fish farming at Kumasi. I went there, I stayed in that farm. I was taking care of their fish. Just learn before I came back. The director was sharing experience. He fed the fish in the morning. Everything was okay. Then he went to work. Then later, the wife called him that the fish are dying. He rushed home. And by the time he got home, almost all of them were dead. And then he found a lot of feed in the pond, under and in the pond, and then up the pond. He rushed to the feed. And then he realized that when he first left, the kids also came. And the thing is that catfish, when you are feeding them, if you're not extra careful, you give them too much. Because the way they eat, you will like it. Some people just enjoy when they see catfish eat it. They will throw they will be happy, they will give it. By the time you realize that they are okay, you are poisoning them. You can always tell you if you overfeed them, you poison them. Because catfish they have the tendency of vomiting the feed back. They will eat. When they now realize that it's too much for them, they will vomit it inside. And that's when the water problem becomes difficult because ammonia will be hard. Any other question? Yeah.
With regards to the cleaning of
Yeah,
this
I was
system,
coming there. Yeah, that's a reminder. Okay. Now let's look at how we can clean this grass. Yes.
so do you pull this thing out,
Yes.
or what do you
Yes.
do?
Now what first and foremost, when you come in the morning to clean it, first when you come, and ideally when they grow, you should be cleaning it every day. Yes. When you come, first and foremost, off the pumps. You can leave the air, but just off the pumps, the filter. Now it's no more working. Okay. And then lock here. You can even lock here before so that the water will not be coming again. Now this water is still very locked. You don't want to lose it. So before you even turn it off, lock it and still leave the filter, the pump. No.
The aerator.
Now you can on this one and leave and let the pump to pump the water back. You are just saving the water. Let the pump when it is left with small. So when the pump start to expose, then you now off it and come here.
Stick.
That
It's
stick
inside.
is inside anyway. So you can get a stick or a pipe, excuse, and then open here. It's going fast. I don't want to waste the water. So when you open, you use the stick and the stem because the feces will clog under the water. So when it clogs under the water, the feces when it clogs under, the water will go and the feces will be inside. So when you are stirring, the cloggedness will be going out. So when the water goes out, then you lock here again. open here and do that, and lock it, open again, there to come. When it is filling up, then you take. You ask whether you remove this. This you don't remove it every day. When it is dirty too much, because if I clean this, you don't remove it every day. When it is dirty too much, you yourself, when you even see the water, you see it block the hose. Then you now turn it. When you turn, you find a lot of feces here. Then you can now wash it inside and flush it out. That's all. Then once you finish, you put it back again. And when you put it back, make sure that it is hard. We say if there's a lot of water, unless you just take your time, make it hard. If it is not hard and it is tiny, it will not be fertile. You understand? It should be firm so that it won't time. So as it's firm, then so once you put it back again and put your water and the water come out, then you turn it on, it will start working. This is how you clean this. This one to you clean it, but not all the time. This can take a month or more, depending on how dirty it is. When it is dirty, when we open and you see the water dropping from the hose, and this just a picture of pictures. When the water dropping from the hole, you now find out that when it is dirty, it will block. Water will not be coming. So at that time, so what you just simply do is that this that's how we then apply glue here. Just remove it this way, or you bring it out. Open here. It's a lid. Just open it. It also has similar mesh. Clean everything and then put it back. You can remove this thing. So when you close it back, then you put it back again and put the water hose. And that's all. And that's all. Now it's ready again. And then I told you yesterday, always make sure that the pump is always submerged in water. Because it's a submersible pump. If you don't make it always submerged in water, it can burn. Now when you finish, then you turn on and it's working again. And the aerator too. Once a while, bring it out. There'll be no physics. They'll be coming around, putting physics on it. Once a while, bring it out. Just put it in the water, rinse it, wash it, and put it back. And I told you, if it's not working with the bubbles, it's not effective. Always make sure that the bubbles is one. If I close it this way,
The water is down, but there's no bubble.
yeah. You see, so this this is the best way it works. The bubbles is going. That's how it's out of oxygen. But if I okay, the pump is working, but it's not out of oxygen, and that's not the best way. It's adding. So if it's not adding and it's working, just change here. That's how we just do it. Turn it so you see it's working, and that's fine. When the water turns green and it is working, it will get to a time, or if you work effectively, you see a lot of bubbles on this pump. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. So, I don't know what I've shown you how to clean it. Is that another issue? Earlier this morning, we stocked this fish around 10 a.m. and we didn't feed them, and that's the best way. We didn't feed them, so we didn't feed them. Now that we are going to feed them, so and we have to use the responsive feeding method. And this time is very crucial. They are not going to respond actively to the feed because one, it is a new environment for them. They've come from different point to this point. The water also new to them. Everything, and they are stressed. Some of them are still resting. So even though if you give them, some will eat, some will not eat, but that is normal, at least for the first few feeding schedules. Just like human, there are some people when they travel to a new place, they still take some time to adjust to themselves to that environment. They can eat well, they can sleep well, and all that. But others, they don't care. The same applies to them. Some of them will not actually respond effectively to the feed. However, we need to give them small feed. And when you are also giving them at this time, don't be too hurry to give them more for them to grow. No. So we give them small for now. And if you throw the feed, don't be surprised that if the feed takes some time for them to realize that there's a feed on it. So let's start. Usually, I don't usually recommend putting hand, but the feed is too much. We don't have small cup, so we just use our hand to demonstrate. Or want to give small. So and mostly you can look at where they are clustered, and now you can see they are around. So just give them to see. Check, you can show it. If you throw it, they are still not aware that there's feed. When they get to know, they will start to come and eat. You see, now that you see these people. So those on the bottom, when they also realize that they are not aware. So when you see them cluster, just drop few at those places. They will come. And you see, once they get to know, you see, more will be coming. But if you just want to come and throw the feed and go, you will poison them. Because if they don't eat it, the water will spoil. You see, now they are now coming. Some still not even aware. I know there were some at the corner there. So, and when you are feeding, there are several ways of or method of feeding. We have the broadcasting method, where you are throwing the feed all over the pond for every corner for the fish to reach, and that is the best method I always use. Even though you would use the responsive feeding method, but throw it in every corner so that every fish will reach. We also have spot feeding. The spot feeding, where you just identify a particular location, and anytime you are going to feed, you are throwing the feed at that point. So all the fish will come there and be eaten. The disadvantage of that is that some of the fish might not be able to get the feed, and some will overeat. That's the disadvantage. But the other also advantage is that you can monitor them while they are eating. But even this one, you can still monitor them. You see now that almost all of them are eating. They are still active, and you could see some places no feed again. So that's what I was telling you. So try to, if you identify that, oh, they are still eating, but the feed is no more there, give it to them. But once you now notice that, oh, they have slowed down, but small feed is still on, then stop. So that's the responsive feeding method. But if you want to give them more, you are going to poison them, especially these crucial hours. So we are not going to give them too much today, but at least I'm happy that the way they have responded to the feed, I'm very happy. And I know if you don't overfeed them subsequently, they are going to be okay. So this is what we call responsive feeding method. You are giving them and you are observing. You see that they're so very active. They're eating. They're eating. Some are still under that eating. So that's the best way. But if you just come and pour the feed and go, it's fine. So basically, you could see that we still have few feed, but they have slowed down, and that's the responsive feeding method. You can still find some. Usually, if you could give them, they will eat. But like I was telling you, especially this crucial time, if you make sure if you overfeed them, your water can just start having problems now, and they can die. So I'll not give them again. I'll leave them like that. I actually brought the antibiotics. I want to give them the antibiotics. So I don't know where I can get a small container. Just a small container. So now we have done feeding them. That's few ones, they will take it and that's all. And so until tomorrow morning, we give them again, and then they will give them again. So now they are okay. Um, Usually when we stock, we give them antibiotics. Like I always say, it's optional, but just to boost their immune system because they are weak, they are stressed up. So just to boost their immune system, it's total optional. So now we are going to apply the antibiotics. There are several, but this is what we usually use. So we just first some amount of water. Now hold this one, just a bit. So we open this. Hey, I'm cut. It's very bitter. The wind, yeah, enter my mouth. Fortunately, you can eat it. It's not something that you cannot consume. It's for most animals. You can eat it. Just that it's bitter. Yeah, I don't want something. I don't want something that's bitter. I'm putting it down because I don't want the listen to a hand. But usually, someone say give spoon, what and what. We local people just not all, not all, no. You can use this one several times. And anytime they feel not okay or weak, or you can put it just to boost their immune system. But earlier in the morning during the training, I made mention of bitter leaves. It's always good. Some use this. So hold this for me. Now you can put a stick and stir, but me I'll just use my hand. It will enter your mouth too. So me I'll just use my hand.
You didn't disinfect your hand.
I did. I cleaned before. So now after when you dissolve it, it looks yellow like this. So just pour, yeah, around the places. So just pour around the corners so that it will mix. So this will boost their immune system. That's all. So we keep that one in case future. Now it will help them with their immune system. So thank you so much.